What's up, YouTube? It's Anthony Castillo with you guys. So another talk. This one is primarily focused on the idea of trust. So I know we hear this concept, this very basic concept out there, and in everything that we do, basically. So I wanted to also kind of go in a little bit more with this right here. All of these words, right? Okay, so what exactly are these words? Well, it took me some time to write all these words, but these words are rhetorical devices, right? So, as you guys know, many workforce and organizations, they thrive on this policies. They thrive on different aspects of communications and how certain patterns and communications are administered, as far as spoken to someone about something. So the reason behind this specific right here is because I had actually researched all these levels of rhetorical devices that people like to use, right? Even when they speak to each other, or sometimes the thought process is very maladaptive at times, where people are always constantly thinking of a pattern of a thought, oh, that's sarcastic, you're being sarcastic, oh, look at the irony in it. All those little minute rhetorical devices are often used and manifested, and they're kind of unconscious at times, and we don't even realize that it's happening. But I wanted to just focus on this idea of trust, because when we learn to trust the universe, right, there's all this internal emotion that's at the depth of our bodies that are relevant to us, and also made known when we're understanding how it's all internal systems, right? Think about all these other systems, organizational systems, workforce systems, and just leadership systems out there that are prolonging it. We're always just looking deep into a document or a specific policy or anything like that. Now, this isn't to say that, oh, go ahead and just, don't listen to whoever is telling you something. But at the same time, learning how to check in with that emotion that is there, it's very resistant. You're aware of these types of see all that. That's a lot. It's there. People watch TV. People watch politics. People watch certain programs. People watch certain sports. Sports is probably one of the biggest rhetorical devices out there that people like to use, because they feel as if oh, well, I'm a sports fan, and this is my identity tied to it. And so now there's nothing wrong with interest, right? Spiritual interest, like I told you about, is we all have different interests, but at the same time we have to be careful and check ourselves that those interests are not coming into manifestations where, let's say someone likes to go out to conferences all the time, and then you come back and you have no relatability with another person, because now it's what they say in organizations, there's no interest. I'm not going to use the C word. We already know what the C word, have you guys heard about that? That's something else deeper going on there. Could be cognitive dissonance theory, something. I don't even like the word theory, but again, this right here, this can apply to so many, this could be applied to so many things out there, right? Because, obviously people have different interests. People have different things about the way they look at, political behavior out there. And don't even like using the word political behavior, but we all have different understandings about ourselves, right? Me, I'll be honest, I used to like Pokemon when I was younger. I no longer play with Pokemon. I used to wear a certain attire, emo. I'll be honest, I used to be Hot Topic or stuff like that. I used to dress like that. I no longer dress like that. So it's just small little examples like that, and sometimes it is just a change of behavior. I'm not saying some people have to change, but they don't want to change. But how do we get out of this repetitiveness of always constantly on this rhetorical treadmill, right? We're going in circles, right? Even in the workforce, let's say you're a manager or something like that, and you're just constantly checking the environment, always watching a TV to find certain insights, or checking to see if, like, you know, the way you speak with someone and you're trying to find some kind of analytical approach. Like, how do we get away from that, right? This is spirituality. And how do we genuinely, honestly get away from all this internal analyses in our mind that is always checking in for, okay, you know, even when we speak to someone, oh, that's an oxymoron. Like, how do we get out of that? Well, the best way to do that is to trust, right? Learn to trust the universe. Learn to just also let go, right? Learning to let go. Like, I remember I would say something to someone, and if you listen to my other channel, my other talk about spiritual illusions, I would have headphones in and someone would get angry at me because I didn't say hello to them, but I had my headphones in. So I was like, I didn't hear you. So again, it's type of those things that happen when we are in society, in a work, any scenario that you come across. How do we learn to get into that mode of removing ourselves from that constant rhetorical device, treadmill, hamster wheel, or whatever? Just trust the universe, you know, learn to trust, and also learn to let go. Because when you let go of all this emotional baggage that's just like constant repeating itself, that's the best way we learn how to trust the universe. Because the universe is going to be there to find its way to navigate and to coordinate things to go in your favor if you trust, right? Most people use trust in God. You look at a dollar bill, in God we trust. You know, it's very simple right there. Very, very simple. But anyways, guys, remember to subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one.